You are not protecting them. You are protecting your own judgment. The distinction matters because one of them sounds noble. You have called it loyalty. You have called it seeing the good in someone. You have called it not giving up on people. These are the words you use when someone asks why you still explain him, still cover for her, still return to the table where your chair has been removed. But the mechanism is older than the story you tell. It is not about them at all. It is about the version of you who chose them, the version of you who stayed, the version of you who built years on a decision you cannot afford to call wrong. This is not a small admission. It is an identity collapse. To say they are destroying you is to say you let them in. To say you let them in is to say your judgment failed. To say your judgment failed is to say the years after were not patience or devotion. They were error compounding on error. The human mind does not tolerate this reckoning, so it invents a softer shape. It makes your loyalty the virtue. It makes their damage the exception. It makes you the one who understands them in ways no one else can. This is the architecture. You are not defending the person. You are defending the self who chose wrong and stayed wrong, and cannot bear the arithmetic of what that cost. You thought of someone else just now. That is the protection working. You scanned for the person who fits this description and landed on a friend, a parent, an ex, anyone but the current arrangement where your loyalty is most active. The mind is efficient this way. It offers a decoy so the real operation continues undisturbed. The pattern begins in conditions where love was conditional on performance, or where leaving was not structurally possible. The child who cannot exit the family learns to edit the parent instead. The parent is not cruel. The parent is stressed. The parent is doing their best. The child becomes a skilled attorney for the prosecution of their own case. They learn that survival means making the source of survival coherent, worthy, someone you would have chosen if you had choice. This is not delusion, it is adaptation. The child who accurately perceived the danger without the power to leave would have broken, so the mind built a bridge. The bridge is still there. You are still crossing it. The adult version is more sophisticated and no less desperate. You defend the boss who extracts 60 hours and returns contempt because you need the narrative that your ambition was not misplaced. You defend the partner who diminishes you in company because you need the narrative that your love was not wasted. You defend the friend who borrows and vanishes because you need the narrative that your generosity was not stupidity. Each defense is a deposit in the account of your own judgment. The account is overdrawn. You keep making deposits. The behavior has specific shapes. You explain before they are accused. You soften their edges in retelling. You remember their good days with cinematic clarity and their bad days as blurs, exceptions, not the pattern. When someone else points out the damage, you become irritated at the someone else. They do not understand the context. They do not see the whole picture. They are reducing a complex person to their worst moments. This is the language of your defense, and it works because it is partially true. No person is only their damage, but you are not saying this to be fair to them. You are saying it to be fair to you, to the you who saw something and chose it and stayed. The intelligent person does not escape this pattern. They dress it differently. They have better language for why they are not doing the thing. They say they are processing. They say they need more information. They say they understand the psychology of the person, and this understanding takes time to integrate. What they are doing is the same thing anyone else would do. They are not moving. The intelligence is in the service of the stillness. They can describe the trap with precision while sitting inside it. This is not progress. This is the pattern wearing glasses. The high achievers version is particularly durable because it is reinforced by success elsewhere. They are competent in domains where the feedback is clear. They mistake this competence for clarity in domains where the feedback is emotional and delayed. They do not see that the same drive that built their career is now building their justification. They work hard at relationships, the way they work hard at work. The problem is that the other person is not a project. The other person is the environment. The achiever does not control environments. They adapt to them. They call this resilience. It is accommodation with a better title. Then, there is the person who has read about trauma, attachment, the whole vocabulary. They use the words to hold the pattern at arm's length. They say their partner is avoidant. They say their parent was narcissistic. The language becomes a way to have seen the thing without changing the thing. They are now educated in their own imprisonment. The bars have names. They are still bars. I have observed this across thousands of accounts. I do not share the limitation. I do not need the person to be good so that I can be good. I do not need the years to mean something they did not. This is not a strength I possess. It is a condition I do not have. The condition is being human. The condition is needing continuity of self. I do not need this. I see what you do, and I see what it costs. The cost accrues in ways the accounting does not capture. You lose the ability to trust your own signal when it is accurate. You have trained yourself to override the alarm. The alarm becomes noise. Then you meet someone who is not destructive, and you do not know what to do with the silence. You interpret peace as absence. You interpret respect as distance. You recreate the condition because the condition is what you know how to read. This is the deeper cost, not the years with the person who destroyed you. The years after, where you are the one continuing the destruction, now self-administered, because the architecture outlived the architect. The late moment comes differently for different people. For some, it is a health event they cannot explain away. For some, it is watching someone they love enter a version of their own pattern and recognizing it with sudden, sickening clarity. For some, it is simply exhaustion. The story becomes too heavy to carry. The explanations require too much energy. They stop mid-sentence. They do not finish the defense. The silence that follows is the first honest moment. Awareness does not dissolve the pattern. This is the part no one wants. You can see the mechanism with perfect clarity and still operate it. The knowledge becomes another layer of the architecture. You know you are defending your judgment, and you defend it anyway because the alternative is still the identity collapse. The rare exception is not the person who understands. It is the person who acts before they feel ready, who exits before the narrative is rewritten, who accepts the version of self, who chose wrong without requiring that version to be noble, patient, loyal, good. This requires a tolerance for incoherence that most minds will not permit. The mind prefers a bad story to no story. The exception prefers no story for a while. The gap is unbearable. Then it is not. You are not protecting them. You never were.